we are on time, which I wasn't expecting because both Adrian and Mustafa are known to give good and long talks. So, so we have time for the Synergies panel, and I will give the floor to Mustafa and Adrian to address your questions. I see some questions are starting to flow in. But I would like to set the stage a little bit. And as both, Wendy, Ziggy, Adrian, Mustafa, they have all touched the basis how Doors and Bridge will address the Black Sea strategic research and innovation agenda. And to do so, of course, we need a certain level of alignment. And here I would like to also stress out that, okay, as we all say, we are starting a new era in the Black Sea research. There were also very productive eras in the past, one of them being the early 1990s, where NATO programs brought the Black Sea community together. And most of the Black Sea institutes that are here today were part of those efforts. And today we are also building on other EU projects and national projects. Of course, we have in detail analyzed all these projects, and we will not repeat them. And in synergy, and we will build on them. I would like to stress this out. And as I said, this is historic, what we are doing here today. But we are not at all undermining all efforts until today, and we will definitely build on them, and we will carry our efforts in alignment with all those institutions and very valuable researchers that has contributed to Black Sea research until today. And when we look at the Doors and Bridge projects, as Adrian and Mustafa summarized, most probably you all have realized that these projects, in a way, they complement each other, and of course they address the same call. So there are some similarities as well. So we need to align our field-going exercises, and they need to complement each other. And in terms of stakeholder engagement, we need to find a very good way to align the two projects, because there are limited numbers of stakeholders in the area to begin with, and we shouldn't exhaust them with similar exercises, and we need to we will get together and we will definitely align these efforts. And also in terms of data production, and also in terms of capacity building and harmonization, there are similarities, and we have already analyzed these, and thanks to Vangelis, he spent an ample amount of time on this, and we definitely need to pay attention to these. And I believe the best way is the related researchers in each project. They need to get together in dedicated meetings and start working on them. But there's a lot that we can build on. So Connect is already there, and it's supporting the Black Sea implementation plan, young ambassadors, and stakeholder involvement. And certain outputs of Black Sea Connect will be very beneficial, such as the joint actions and operational network of funders. But already within the scope of Connect, we got together stakeholders at national level. So there is a pool of stakeholders that are already contributing towards how SRIA will be implemented in the region. And of course, joint actions are key here. because both projects will support these joint actions, and already we are forming a group of stakeholders that are supporting these joint actions. And the operational network of funders will be discussed this Wednesday in the group of senior officials, and we can also, the two projects can also benefit from this network. So the challenge ahead of us is to continue building on this puzzle. So how we are going to have a successful SRIA implementation in the Black Sea, and how Bridge and Doors will support this implementation. And as Mustafa and Adrian has shown, each project has their own way of bringing the stakeholders together and getting input from the stakeholders. Definitely, we will use these platforms. And we should not forget about the Common Maritime Agenda for the Black Sea, because they are doing a great work in terms of clustering, especially the blue economy sectors and related stakeholders there. And this is already also a big strength for us. And so we will, of course, this picture that you see here will further develop. The policy landscape is changing very fast, both globally, but also in the region. So we will keep Bridge and Doors on the picture here, and they will contribute to the changing policy landscape. So I wanted to summarize what was said until now. Now I would like to ask Mustafa and Adrian to elaborate a little bit more on how they think the synergies between the two projects will be, especially in terms of including the stakeholders and benefiting from their input. But there's also a question how the field work, especially integrated cruises, for example, will be organized. So, Adrian or Mustafa, which one of you would like to start?
So, Mustafa, which one of us will
Adrian,
you?
please, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, actually, I feel the need to mention that 2 weeks ago, we were having the kickoff meeting of Doors, and we already organized a joint session of the work package leaders in the two projects. And that's because we have, from a point of view, similar approaches, even though we are complementary, and that's the reason why we clearly need to better organize all our activities to enhance the output. So what we can do now, there are three possibilities. One, to be pale and gray and do nothing. The second option is to manage to mess up everything and generate disaster. And this is something that we absolutely do not want. And the third thing is to coordinate the two projects in all our activities in a way that will make 2 and 2 result in more than 4, 6 or 7, not 5. So this is why we started having these discussions on how to select the proper stakeholders, how to see which are the best ways to approach each stakeholder, how to see how we can get to the stakeholders to bring in added value for both projects. Why? Just try to put yourselves in the situation of, I don't know, a policymaker from, or let's say a village mayor somewhere that receives 10 emails, one for Bridge, one for Doors, one from Connect. We risk to end up in spam if we don't coordinate ourselves. In the meanwhile, if we group together and we have this joint selection of stakeholders, selection of approach questions that will bring in added value for both projects and also for Connect, let's keep this in mind, for all three projects, this is extremely useful. So this is why the work package coordinators in Doors and Bridge that deal with stakeholders, they have this plan of engaging. Our work package dealing with stakeholders, they have to meet later this week. They will be in touch and have the need to have a well-established joint strategy. So this deals with the selection and approach of stakeholders, why to maximize the benefit. So this is one part. Two, the business part of the Black Sea. As I said in my introduction about Doors and the Black Sea, we are unfortunately in a crippled Black Sea society. Why? Because again, with the notable exception of Turkey, for many years during the communist period, in the other countries, there has been no entrepreneurial culture, and legislation has not been supportive of development of blue economy business. So again, we need to develop a proper way to engaging those who can become champions in the creation of blue growth. And even though both Bridge and Doors have the same blue growth incubator for Bridge or accelerator for Doors on the list, this is because we look at different types of business, and there is a lot to do to increase and create a sustainable blue business in the Black Sea countries. But again, working together and sharing information is crucial. Let's say that Bridge is closer to the living resources. Doors looks also at other aspects. So if we find people whom we consider champions that Bridge community can deal with, we'll pass the information with them and the other way around. For the cruises, well, both co-leaders of the work package 4 in Doors that deals with cruises, Livio Rufin from Ifremer and Gigi Ungurano from GECOMAR, they are out on the field, but I know they were supposed and they engaged with Mustafa to discuss about the joint planning of the cruises. This is fundamental. You all know that marine research is terribly expensive. This is why we need to see how we put our resources in common in the best way. I know that you are going to discuss, Mustafa, after the return, after the holidays and so on, the brief holidays, but things will be set up. But we are trying to see how we engage also with the other types of data. And I'm really very happy that the work package leaders in both Doors and Bridge, so colleagues from Odessa State University and Hellenic Center of Marine Research on our side, together with our colleagues in Grigore Antipa National Institute of Marine Research in Bridge, have started discussing the harmonization of data. You all know very well that data collection, methodologies, sampling and everything make the Black Sea the modern Babel, if you want, like the Babel Tower. We try to bring harmony in chaos and try to set up these rules. So both work package teams in both projects, they are extremely courageous and we need to fully support them in all aspects. Luckily, the work package leaders in both projects have known each other, they have worked together, and it's a huge amount of work to be done because harmonization is difficult and also because the selection of relevant data is very complicated. So I guess I touched a few of the questions. Mustafa, to you now.
Yeah, great summary, Adrian. Just about stakeholders, yes, we will definitely establish a very solid synergy. We have to do this. But let us also emphasize that both projects have different inputs to give to the stakeholders, and we will expect different outputs from them. But of course, from the same, maybe similar group of stakeholders, but the projects will provide them different, let's say, material or input As Adrian said, DOORS is more oriented around system of observing systems and how to building data cubes, very different innovative concepts. The deep sea, for example, is a particular focus of DOORS, while Bridge will mainly deal with the pelagic ecosystem. So we will approach the stakeholders, we will provide them different actually information, knowledge input in an easy, accessible way, so they will not be overwhelmed and they will be able to provide timely input from different perspectives. So that's an important aspect. About cruises, fully agree with Adrian. We have already started working with the relevant leaders, Livio and Gigi, in DOORS project, but we will also do something else. We will build on what has been achieved before. The Black Sea communities do have a long experience in organizing joint cruises. Maybe this was not the case in the past few years, but before Horizon 2020, during FP7, FP6, there were the projects such as Perseus and Sesame, and the coordinators of these projects, Vangelis, he is also here. So of course we will learn from them how they organize the cruises, what difficulties they faced, and what will be their recommendations. That's very important for us. And even before then, as Boris showed, during 80s, 90s, the scientists of the Black Sea, they came together, they organized joint cruises. İlkay Hoca, for example, he's also here. We will also talk to them, learn from them, how they have organized these cruises, and then we will build on what we learn from them and try to organize the best possible way. We will also make, of course, we are two partnerships, but that doesn't mean that it's a closed club. If space allows on our research vessels, if there's an opportunity for space, we will also invite other experts. We can invite other experts of the Black Sea to join our cruises. So in that regard, our joint expeditions will be open platforms for research, collaboration, also for youth. We are aiming to design special events on our research vessels with the young ambassadors, for example. So all things, these will be upcoming. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian, Mustafa. And there is one quite good question about how the environmental, let's say, how the environment is changing in the Black Sea. And one of them is that the recent reports indicate that hydrogen sulfide-rich layers has shoaled. And as Mustafa says, has shown, also we see this shoaling in the low oxygen levels as well. And yes, we are talking about how we can switch to a sustainable economy and how we will contribute to policy and include stakeholders. But yes, there are these challenges that there are certain risks in the Black Sea, and these needs to be addressed by state-of-the-art research. And we know that these dangers are there, and we need to immediately address them. I mean, researchers are already addressing them, but we need to come up with strong and immediate measures how we will respond to these risks, how the policymakers should respond to these risks, so to speak. So that should be one of our priorities, and I believe that during the course time of these projects, we will have these different priorities that are not maybe already in the projects, but this question by Binhan Ganioğlu was a critical question, and definitely we are going to respond to these as priorities. Yeah. Okay. Anything else that Mustafa or Adrian wants to add? Otherwise, we can give a 5 minutes break before switching to the work packages. It will take people 5 minutes to reconnect, I believe. I hope I didn't miss any other questions.
Just to say that this is the most dangerous question. So if Adrian and Mustafa don't have anything to add, you can go on a coffee break. So this is responding now makes you the public enemy #1. So thank you very much, Barish. Nothing from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. It was really a pleasure having you here today, and I'm looking forward to a very fruitful and fun collaboration. And I really hope that soon we will have a common meeting, a live meeting, where we can meet and see each other and yeah, go out to dinners and socialize. And I hope we will have one of these meetings soon in Turkey. And as our rector has invited you all to our nice campus, we would like to see you all in our campus sometime soon.
Still, one 10 seconds announcement, which will be 25 seconds. Actually, please remember to send the questionnaire for the innovation workshop to everybody. We are now 200 people. We are organizing in Black Sea Connect this innovation workshop with stakeholders dealing with blue business. And it's very important taking into account who's who. You are now many voices from the whole Black Sea community, and not only we're looking for best practice. So if Pinar or could circulate that workshop, we can collect information. What's important? We want to have 3 projects meet sequential meetings, start with Connect, continue with Bridge and Doors. In January, hopefully physical attendance, meet you all in Turkey there.
Okay, thank you. And Ziggy, do you want to add anything or have the last words here?
No, sorry, I mean, well, I took my background off. No, it's just very interesting to follow the discussion, and I was particularly pleased, actually, to say that some of the issues I mentioned resonated. And you have such a great future ahead of you. So, and you have all fantastic teams and experts behind you. So I only wish you a great continuation and all my best wishes.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Okay, so we have a few minutes break, then people can connect to the work packages. And again, I would like to thank everyone for joining our opening today, and all the panelists. I know they really had to make time during their very busy schedules and prepare for their talks and join today's opening. And I appreciate all the efforts and everyone that has made time and was here with us today. Thanks a lot, and see you at the work package discussions.